Hello and welcome to our Breaking Barrier interview. I'm with Carla today. Hello, Carla.
Hello.
And welcome to this interview. We're excited to get to know more about you and what you do. We've been talking for a while about your topic. And what we do in these interviews is we want to learn about what the barriers are to people's growing their business, to their life, everything. Like, what are the barriers people face and how we can arise above them or around them or under them or whatever way there is to get through those barriers. So that's what we'll be talking about today with you, Carla. And we've been talking for almost a year now, like having our morning calls, and you're an active member of the VIP group. You're also an active member of the Heart Centered Women Breaking Barriers group. So that's why we wanted to really highlight you and get to know you more, on top of your topic being super interesting. So, would you say a few words about who you are and what you do?
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be
Hmm.
here and to be having this conversation with you this morning. It's great to have that opportunity. My name is Carla, and I am professionally I'm a registered nurse and holistic health coach and a certified brain health coaching. So I help menopausal women to minimize their symptoms so that they can be healthy in four distinct areas, and we'll kind of maybe go into that maybe just touch today. That's the physical area, the mental area, the social connections, and also spiritual. So
Wow. I find your topic of expertise so interesting. It's just fascinating on top of being practical because it concerns us all. And I have a training as a biochemist, so I have an extra interest for everything that you say. Like, it really just like, because it's like I know that what you're saying is a significance, and it makes a difference. So like I can't like kind of be like, oh wow, it doesn't matter so much, you know. Kind of have to listen to what you say with interest. So one of the things we wanted to know is, what do you see like in your field of expertise? So you help perimenopausal or menopausal? Uh,
basically any stage of menopause, you could be just entering, going
mhm.
full force, or just kind of exiting that that stage.
Okay, because there is an end to it.
There is hopefully one day.
Okay, so what do you see? Like, what have you noticed have been the barriers or obstacles that arise for people? What does this bring up, like this stage of life for women, or as far as their brain health? And what do you see that you can bring that will make a difference in helping people break through those barriers, or yeah, rise above them or whatever?
I think one of the biggest barriers of women kind of going through any of these stages is that just maybe it's not being ignorant, but just maybe a lack of understanding of really how our hormones affect
Hmm.
our whole system. And we have the outward symptoms of, for example, bloating or insomnia or sweating, things like that, but not really understanding when you go right down to the core of all those issues, how to make it better. And I think that's kind of a biggest barrier of women really truly understanding their body, themselves, how their body works, and that they don't have to stay that way. They can change just because their hormones are up and down and all over the place. They can actually balance their hormones and come to a state of complete health,
Hmm.
or strive to be optimizing their health in those four areas.
Wow. So there's a lack of understanding. Perhaps we were not educated or informed enough about also how our hormones work and how things are related, but also that there's a possibility to have a state of health. Sometimes we just come to accept that this is it, this is the way it is, and we get used to it, even though we can't really get used to it. But and that way we don't even know that there's a possibility of a state of health. So a state of brain health, like what are the kinds of things that you see that are affected in our brain health that we just take for granted that they can't get better, and actually maybe we can improve? What areas of our brain health can we actually improve and we don't realize it?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of us say we can when we physically see something happening, we kind of have okay, we can fix that. If we've gained weight, we know okay, we need to
Hmm.
lose weight. A lot of people, however, don't look at the brain as a part of the body because we really can't see our actual brains. And so we think that, okay, we're losing our memory, or we're aging, or we're not focusing well enough. That just must be the way it's supposed to be.
Mm.
And that's not true, because our brains are like a computer. And so they're like the hardware and software of our whole body. And it's a pretty amazing energy resource organ of our entire body. So when we can take care of our brain, we can actually change our brain. We can actually change our thoughts and change how we actually function. So, so when we want to get healthy, we need to consider our entire body. And that first starts with the brain, with first starting resetting our mind, resetting our thoughts, our attitudes, our beliefs, anything that maybe has passed on to us. We can change that, because just because that happened to your family or you in the past, it doesn't mean that has to define you for the rest of your life. You can change that actual process.
That sounds like a very applicable principle in general, that our past doesn't need to define us. And I guess we just come to accept, like, we think it doesn't happen that way in some areas of our life, but this is showing that even in the area of your brain and your general health, because your brain is part of your entire body, like you just said, and we kind of ignore it as if, it's another part, or it's something we don't have access to. So we can't do anything about it. So we're not powerless faced with this state of things. The past does not have to define us. I really like that. In this sense. So there's so many things. I do have like multiple things coming to mind. And I know if Amy were here, she'd have so many questions too. So just to decide where to go. Yeah.
So it's really important when you want to be healthy, you need to go down to the core of the issue, of what is happening. If you have something wrong with your skin, that actually is something that's wrong with your brain. So there's lots of things. You need to go down to the core. How are you sleeping? How are you eating? How are you getting hydrated? How are you moving in a day? How are you thinking? All those things. How are you taking care of yourself? Your self-care, your stress levels. All those things need to be taken into consideration. It's not simply just getting on a treadmill and going, or drinking 8 cups of glasses of water and thinking that's going to solve all the issues. No, that's just kind of like a band-aid. You need to get down to the core, start from the root issue, and that's the mind, and then build on that. And that's what I kind of cover in my Be Your Best program, or even just I've been doing these webinars the last couple of months of just breaking down these core issues of first detoxifying your mind, getting rid of all those negative thoughts, those past traumas. And it's not saying you just have to snap your finger and it's gone. No, sometimes it doesn't work with people. We have to work through those issues. And when we can work through those issues, then we start building on that. And then we can add in, okay, now we're going to learn about how to eat smart. Now we're going to learn how to sleep better. Now we're going to learn how to exercise. And kind of building that big foundation of, now the foundation is strong, and now it's going to carry you a lot further.
So it can be step by step, and we can learn a lot, and we can do better, and it can make a difference even in things that we didn't think could change. That makes me want to talk about your business and what you do as well, because like Radically Transform Coaching, so that's the transformation, and you're a brain health coach. So maybe you could share more about how this came up, the whole idea of Radically Transform Coaching through brain health. Like, how did you go from registered nurse to this? Maybe just in a few words, because I also want to hear about what you do. But where does this all, like the transformation, like you must have experienced transformation. You can see transformation for people. Could you touch on that some?
So as Charlotte was saying, I am a registered nurse, and actually, ironically, during training, my initial training, brain health did not excite me at all.
Okay.
It was an area that I thought I would ever want to understand or get to know. But I think it's just through the experiences of life, becoming a mom, becoming a wife, just kind of going through those transitions and seeing family members who were injured, say through sports activities, and how that changed their brain. How extended family are now suffering with Alzheimer's. I'm thinking, okay, what has happened? This is an incident that happened to them, and this is the result of that. So is there something that I can do to educate people being proactive so that they don't end up in these states, or even just the whole epidemic of of weight right now,
Mm.
of
Mhm.
obesity. It is huge, it's skyrocketing, and how it actually changes everything about us. And
Mm.
we are meant to be better than that. We are meant to to be healthy, to live life to the fullest. And but we can't do that when we have these pains and stuff like that. So I wanted to be able to combine my nursing knowledge and the new knowledge of being a brain health, and how I can help people to live life to the fullest, to have more purpose and clarity. Um, and because right now I am in that stage of menopause, so I am
Mm.
going through
On
that.
top
So
of
I
that.
am personally understanding the symptoms.
Mm.
I think that's why it made it so much easier to kind of transition into helping menopausal women going through that stage, to knowing how to minimize those symptoms, but also to get healthier. Um,
Mm.
not only for themselves, but to be a chain reaction, basically a chain reaction for their families, for those that are around them, their loved ones or coworkers, things like
Mhm. I think a lot of us can really connect with, I know I can connect with the living life to the fullest, like that we wish that for ourselves and for others around us. That's really, that's what I'm getting from what you're saying. And yeah, I really connect with that part, living life to the fullest. And I can really catch what you're saying, the link between what you had to experience before, the new experience, what you're bringing for people. I find that really incredible and really awesome, actually. And the fact that you're going through it yourself means you can really be understanding. Like you said, it's not the same to talk about it and to be in it. And in a way, listening to you makes me feel grateful for the fact that we are at this phase. Like, not everybody makes it that far. So in a way, I mean, if we can live it to the fullest, why not? So it's kind of creating possibilities and new hope for us to achieve things in our lives that maybe we didn't think was possible. So what is it specifically that you do? Like, what kinds of programs or coaching do you offer people who are interested in learning more?
Um, Before I answer that question, if I can, I'm going to go back to the
Mm-hmm.
previous one just to kind of add in a little more comment.
Yes.
So you had asked the reason why I named my company Radically
Yes.
Transformed.
Yes.
It's interesting, actually, through my training. I was trained through Amen University under Dr. Daniel Amen, who's a board certified psychiatrist. And what he does, he has several clinics in the States. Then what they do is they scan people's brains to know
Mm.
where the trouble is arising. Well, up here in Canada, we don't have access to that. So he's actually taught his coaches that he trains how to assess people without having being scanned. I mean, if you can afford it, great, go and do it. It's well worth it. But it's just amazing to see the scans that he comes and the stories that he has of clients that he's had, and that radical transformation of where
Mm.
they were and where they are today. It is phenomenal. So now going back to the current question you asked of what I offer, I right now I'm offering actually a, a program called Be Your Best Coaching Program. And that is stepping through right now three modules. I will be adding one more in the coming weeks. The first one, like I had already mentioned, is detoxifying your mind, looking at what are you thinking about, your attitudes, your beliefs, your mindset, how to change those negative thoughts. There's a term in that module called ants. We have ants running in our head, and that's that running dialogue that just, we're, because running dialogue that can change the trajectory of our day. And thoughts can actually lie to us. So this whole concept of the ant therapy is basically identifying what ant is in your head and how to
Mm.
crush them, how to get them out of there. So that's the first module. The second module, we go into smart eating secrets, how to eat smart for the health of your brain and your body. There's a direct correlation with your gut and your brain. The gut is often mentioned as the second brain. So it's not only important to get your gut healthy, it is also important to get your brain healthy. And so this, I give you 9 tips on how to have a brain healthy lifestyle. Plus, I talk about the Brain Warriors diet. And
Mm.
I really kind of discourage the word diet. it's a nutritional plan is what I have changed that word to, because a diet I always view as a short term, whereas a nutritional
Mm-hmm.
plan, it's a lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
change, right? And it's basically understanding why we should eat a certain way, why the importance of cutting out certain foods. And we kind of go into that meal planning, cravings, sugar. Uh,
Mm.
sugar is huge. So that's kind of the second module. And then we move into the exercise strategies made easy. We often think, oh, we need to go to the gym and work out for 2 hours and the sweat's pouring down our face. Not so. Especially for menopausal women going through all these hormonal changes, it's actually best to know what your hormone type is
Mm.
first, and then modify your exercise plan according to your hormone type. So the program that I am running through that is from a doctor from the States called Dr. Jake Tita. And he actually has designed a program for women going through menopause that
Okay.
is very specific for their hormone type. So you assess your hormone type first, and then you run through the program. And it only is a 15-minute program 3 times a week,
Mm.
and with the nutritional meal plan, things like that with that. But then you also are losing weight for 2 days afterwards. So because
Mm.
it's a rest-based program, you're not going as hard as you can and then quitting. You're going as hard as you can, resting until you go hard again, right?
Mm.
So that's kind of the exercise program there. And the upcoming module that I'll be going into is sleep. Sleep is one of the most important things we need to have
Mm.
above everything else. And if we don't get our 7-8 hours of sleep, then it affects everything else, like
Mm.
our diet, like our mood, like
Mm.
our
That's true.
energy, everything.
Wow. That's really great. Thank you so much for sharing all those. Because at the same time, you're sharing the modules, but you're also sharing information that's useful to us. So, what I like about it is the way you're making it sound. At least sounds really doable. Like it really sounds like it's small steps, doable, and it doesn't sound like a huge deal, though it sounds like it can make a big difference.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always about making things easy. I'm
Mm.
a mom of four and I am busy, and I honestly, I mean, now it's COVID, I don't have time to do a 2-hour workout. I don't.
Mm. Mm.
So if I can make it easy and I'm still accomplishing the same goal, why not? Right? So this is why my program is doable, is very, very doable.
Hmm. I do find that it sounds that way. I'll ask you. I want to ask a couple questions about some specific things that you're doing right now that people can learn more about. But I had a question for you, maybe a little bit more challenging. I don't know. Um, it just came to me like radically transform coaching. You've probably experienced yourself some transformations that have motivated you. I know you talked about people that you saw around you, or all these things that you've seen. But what is it? Maybe a barrier or something that happened for you that was transformed maybe through this, or just that you would like to share? Is there something that comes to mind?
Um, well, I've gone through a lot of changes, and I've
Mhm.
gone through, I've always struggled with weight all my
Mm.
life, from elementary, my teens, my adults. I've tried many, many different programs, and a lot of it was uh, from a poor mindset.
Mm.
I had uh, some difficult issues that came up when I was a teen,
Mm.
and it affected me mentally. And I had a very low self-esteem, so it was hard to kind of push through that.
Mm.
But
I can
but
hear
I
that. Yeah.
yeah, but I with the proper education that I had, and
Mm.
also putting into practice these 4 different areas of
Exactly.
the physical, knowing how my body works, what works for me. We are all individual. What works for me is not going to work maybe for somebody else.
Mm.
So individual planning, your mental health, getting the thoughts out, knowing to renew your mind every day, to be grateful for what you have, um, and to know the creator that made me, has made me unique.
Mhm.
And I want to share that with others, how they
Mm.
are uniquely made and for a purpose. And we're not here just by accident. So that was another part of it that came into it. Social connections of
Mm.
keeping up with connections with your family. Um, and developing those connections because you will need them, and we are meant to be in communion with other people, and we can't do life alone, and we're not meant to do life alone.
Mhm.
So that was a learning curve as well. And finally, my the spiritual connection. I'm a faith follower of Christ, and so through my faith, I share. I've learned how to love myself more, to work through the hurts and the pain from the past, and knowing that once I kind of work through that, then I can work on other areas like my physical health
Mm.
and mental health and things like that. Um, but also knowing how to take care of myself, like self-care, going for walks, keeping a journal, gratitude, be thankful for, even in the midst of a storm. I'm not thinking of a physical storm outside, but
Mm.
a mental storm that you're going through.
Mm.
Knowing, picking out things that you are grateful for has really helped to move myself forward. So that way I have designed my name around that, is that I've been radically transformed. And
Mm.
am I at the point where I want to be? No, but
Mm.
I'm definitely not where I used to be. And so I find that a great triumph and a great victory, that I can keep being radically transformed each and every day. And so that's the passion that I want to instill in other women, is that you may be at your bottomless pit, but you don't
Mm.
have to stay there. You are not meant to stay there. And I can help you get up, back up on your feet again, and rise to victory in your own way, not in a program designed, a set program, but we
Mhm.
can design a program that's made for you, that you can rise up and be the person that you're meant to be.
Wow. Thank you for sharing all that. I really appreciate it. Seems to me that you experienced a lot of hardships and that through all of this, you found some answers that brought you a certain amount of peace of mind, a new lifestyle, the ability to care for yourself. And you've learned that that was a step towards doing all the other things that mattered to you, were important for you. And now you want to help others and you're looking at what makes them individually unique, which is something special about what you do. And you're considerate of that. So wow, that's incredible. Thank you for sharing all that.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, I never used to be a one that I could be in front of camera. Very
Hmm.
shy,
Hmm.
very, introvert, and it has taken a lot of growth. So,
Yes, yes.
um, so definitely
Carrying
at
your
this
growth.
point now, today is a great victory.
Yeah, that's the triumph and victory, and an example that we can all follow as well, and shows us that it's possible. So to get to the more specific parts of, I wanted to ask you a couple of things about, like, what are you doing right now? What are you excited about? What's happening in your business right now that you can tell our audience about as well? Maybe like your webinar, lunch and learn, and all that.
Yeah, so a lot of exciting things have happened since the beginning of 2021. I was asked to do a series of webinars. They're through a local networking group that I am a part of, and it is basically breaking down the modules that I was describing,
Mm.
and teaching them over a series of sessions from the beginning of January to the end of March. So there's still some that you can take part in. The next one happens on Tuesday, which will be the third module, the exercise strategies made easy. And then next Friday, I was asked to be in what's called The Buzz, and it's very similar to the show The View,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a panel discussion with other healthcare providers, and so that was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday was the ultimate victory, as I was on our local Chamber of Commerce lunch and learn. They have
Wow.
these learning sessions just over the lunch hour from 12 to 1.
Mm.
And I talked about, obviously brain health and
Mm.
And then I was asked from there to be on a teaching series over several weeks. I can pick how many I want to do, and to add to that teaching
Wow.
as well. So yeah, it's very,
Hmm.
very exciting that
Yes.
one small little step of stepping out of your comfort zone can just almost explode right in front
Mhm.
of your eyes of how many opportunities that are coming around.
Definitely. So we'll make sure to put the information for those events, the ones that people can attend, in the comments, and also hopefully in the description. We'll put your Facebook page so people can find out more. So, what's the best way for people to communicate with you or contact you if they'd like to learn more or work with you?
Right? You can find me on Facebook at Radically Transform Coaching, or on Instagram at
Mhm.
Radically Transformed. You can also go to my scheduling link at transformyourbrain.as as me.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
and I'll put that in the notes in the
Yes.
comments as well. And you can schedule your uh, if you want to go further with talking with me, I do have a discovery session, and Be Your Best discovery session,
Mm,
and that kind of allows me to get to know you, where you are currently, what do you want to accomplish, where are your goals, and see how we can be a good fit for each other. So
wow, I'm sure others will be inspired by everything that you just shared, all the information, I mean, it was all, everything was there, like the personal sharing, the information, the what you do. Like, I find it very complete. And I'm sure others will want to learn more and have a discovery session with you. So that's about for my questions. Is there anything special you wanted to add? Does that cover mostly what you would like people to know? Is there anything you felt we didn't talk about? Or
um no, I think that's about it. Just note that when it comes to brain health, there's so many areas
mm,
that
hmm,
you can change. What I just want to empower you is that when you do any type of change, start with one thing,
okay.
and accomplish that first. Make sure that you're doing well on that first, and then add to that.
Mm.
Don't try to take on all these changes all at once, because it's not going to work that way. You got to start small and then build on that. So that's the most important thing
Mm.
with any type of change.
Wow, thank you a lot for that tip. That's a very good tip because it could sound overwhelming. There's so many things that come to mind when we listen to what you're sharing, and just to have that tip that we just start with one thing and maybe share with others to what we're doing. So if there's a one tip, what the one thing you guys want to change in your life right now, your brain health, maybe share it in the comments and we can support each other in, achieving that first barrier broken, right? Can be seen that way. So thank you so much, Carla. I really appreciate the
Thank
time that
you.
you've taken, and look forward to seeing the comments and the conversations that will be sparked by this conversation. And thank you so much for being a VIP member, an active member of the group, and everything that you contribute. And we look forward to many more conversations and learning so much more about brain health with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Take care.